Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Facebook Live Tuesday. I'm Eileen Gottlieb, the Heart Healer, and we're broadcasting this morning from our Young Living group, Sharing the Love with Young Living Essential Oils. I know it's early in the morning to be up and dressed and makeup on and everything else, if you know me anyway. So anyway, I am happy to be sharing this time with you. In honor of it being Valentine's week this week, we are going to share about how to awaken your heart with essential oils. It's a good subject any day of the week, but we're going to bring it up this week because we're honoring that most people, whether they are usually consciously connected to their hearts, are this week because they're thinking of that Hallmark holiday here in the U.S. I don't think it's a Hallmark holiday in other countries. But anyway, so as you join me here on this Facebook Live, please announce yourself. Let me know that you're here. Say hi. I love to have interaction with everybody. It's so much more fun. Okay, so I've got some notes here so that I don't forget what I want to share with you. Today what we're going to talk about is we're going to do a brief introduction to essential oils for those of you that are not as familiar with what they are, where they come from, etc. And then we're going to talk a little bit about holistic approaches to heart health, looking at it from the holistic model and what that is, to empower you with a bit more information. And third, we're going to talk just about a few, because we don't have a whole lot of time here, but just a few essential oils, key ones that I really love that promote heart health on a few different levels, okay? So that is our introduction. A little bit about essential oils. So I want to just share with you that I love to share this little disclaimer that, and I'm going to read it so that I'm languaging it the way that I always want to. Nothing in this broadcast is intended to diagnose or treat, nor is it a replacement for your chosen path of medical care. Making choices about one's health is very personal. Making conscious choices is the greatest gift we give ourselves. So what are essential oils? They're man's first medicine. Kind of disagree with that on one level. A lot of people say that, but in essence, I think that herbs and plants, just as they are, were man's first medicine. But more therapeutic became essential oils in my review of different things and my personal opinion. And they're the lifeblood of a plant. So as the lifeblood of a plant, if you think about what our blood does in our bodies, the lifeblood of a plant does similar things. It carries nutrition to the different parts of the plant. It carries, it moves toxins around to release them. And it does wonderful things with a plant where it actually protects the plant from outside environmental forces. And that essential oils can do similar things in our body, which is interesting. So we know that they cleanse, they oxygenate, they protect, they nourish, they heal. They are vital for a plant to grow, evolve, and adapt to its surroundings. And interestingly enough, they do the same thing for us, as I just said. It is pretty amazing. So where do essential oils come from? Well, they come from different parts of the plant. Everything from the leaves, to the seeds, to the resin, to the bark, to the stems, to the root, all different parts of the plant. And some examples, because I always forget these. Thyme comes from a shrub. Frankincense comes from the resin behind the tree. It's actually not a true essential oil. We're going to talk about another essential oil that we have that's not a true essential oil, but more an essence. Rose comes from a bush, which comes from the flower, the petal. Geranium comes from the leaves of the plant. Lavender also comes from the flowers. Ginger comes from the root. Cumin from the seeds. And citrus like lemon and orange come from the rind of the fruit. So there's a lot of different places that we glean essential oils from the various parts of a plant. And so the most ancient of our records show that the ancient Egyptians used essential oils in their day-to-day lives. We all know about mummification and the pyramids and how the Egyptians buried their dead many, many years ago. Well, essential oils were an integral part of that mummification process. And they were considered so dear in those days that they were filled with alabaster, or alabaster jars were filled with essential oils. And we have evidence of this in King Tut's tomb with some of the alabaster jars that still had residue of essential oil within the interior of them. So they really valued essential oils even that many years ago. And for those of you that are very biblical oriented, there are numerous references, over 300 references to essential oils in the Bible. And many know that the 3 gifts to the Christ child that were brought by the wise men were frankincense, myrrh, and not really gold as in the metal, but sandalwood, which is gold in terms of essential oils. All right, so when did essential oils come into our more current history? So back in the early 1900s, a French cosmetic named Maurice René Guettefossé coined the term aromatherapy. And there's a great story about him, not great in that it happened to him, but he was a perfumery. He created perfumes also. And so he was working in the lab and something caught fire and he burned his arm. And the story goes that he was working with lavender essential oil, and after dousing the flames, he inserted his arm or put his arm in a vat of lavender. And it almost immediately started to begin the healing process because lavender was so astounding in terms of its qualities to promote balance within the skin of where these burns were. It was pretty astounding. Dr. John Valnet, around World War II, 1939 to 45, used oils in the battlefield when warriors or soldiers were wounded and they were getting infections in their arms and their legs where they were wounded in their bodies. And so they used essential oils to assist the body in healing during that time. And this was the restoration of aromatherapy to modern times. In more current times, Gary Young, who founded Young Living Essential Oils, was in a logging accident in '73, and it took him over 2 years before he went from a wheelchair to walking. And he did very well. He ran a half marathon. He was physically doing well in terms of function, but he was still in pain and he was seeking answers, which began his journey of exploring different aspects of healing. And one of them became essential oils, and so Young Living was born. And so 97% of the world's essential oils are adulterated. And so I'm very proud to be a part of Young Living Essential Oils, who has the most amazing seed to seal process. You can Google that on Young Living or to youngliving.com, or you can find that information on my website at eileengottlieb.com. It is a most wonderful process to understand that in order to get a good therapeutic grade quality essential oil, in a time when we live quite kind of in a toxic soup in our planet, in this enclosed world we live in, what we do is we are very conscious in this company about the seeds and the fact that they are what they are, that they're planted at the proper time, that the soil is not adulterated, that the water that feeds these plants is not adulterated. We do our best to control the environment around it, but our plants are grown in farms all around the world because different environments are needed for different plants to grow. And so the other part of it is that the distillation process is one where it gleans the essential oil from the different plant material. And we do that in a very conscious way. And because in our country there aren't general standards for quality for essential oils, we follow European standards because they do have them. And so every batch of oil that's distilled, whether it's done in this country or on one of our certified partner farms, we test each batch to make sure that the quality is there and that all of the chemical constituents for a therapeutic benefit are there also, and nothing is adulterated. If anything is found in the testing process to be adulterated, we don't use it, which is why from time to time we don't have certain blends that we love or certain single oils because we won't sell them. That's the integrity of this company, which I'm very, very grateful for. All right, so I wanted to share that in this country, in terms of how we apply it, because we're babies essentially compared to the European market, there are three basic ways that we apply essential oils. One is topically, one is we ingest them orally, or the third is we inhale them either just directly or we use diffusers of different kinds, and there are many different kinds of diffusers. My favorite is an ultrasonic mist diffuser, which puts microfine droplets of the oil into the air along with a little bit of moisture, which is great for us here in South Florida, where even though we're in a humid climate here, most of us live in air conditioning all the time. And you know what air conditioning, how it's created, it takes a lot of that moisture out of the air. And for those of you that are living in colder climates or in the winter time, it's nice to have just a little bit more moisture in the air as it's offering us the wonderful beneficial aromas of the different essential oils that we have to choose from. So in France, they primarily use essential oils by the oral route. In fact, they have pharmacies where you can have a prescription from a physician and go and have it filled. And up until, I'm looking at my notes because I can never remember, up until 1990, all of these aromatic prescriptions were covered by the country's insurance program. Just pretty astounding, but the pharmacies remain, and this is an integral part of their healthcare system. In England, the primary route is topical through massage, and in Germany, the primary route is through inhalation. And so we in the United States, because we've had the benefit of learning from our sisters and brothers in Europe, we use a combination of all three. All right, so let me talk now a little bit about the holistic aspects of heart health. How do we look at holism, right? Holism is, by true definition, taking into consideration that we are not just these bodies. We are literally our physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, and energetic parts of us. There are all these different aspects of us. And I'm going to sneeze, forgive me. Maybe if I say it, I won't. Excuse me. All right, sneezing on the truth, right? Okay, so the true holistic model, unlike allopathic medicine, takes into consideration that we are more than these bodies. And when all these different aspects of who we are in balance, oh my goddess, do we feel fabulous or what, right? So when we look at heart health and awakening the heart, if we look at it from the holistic model, then we look at it in terms of what do we create in terms of the organ, the heart, in its health and wellness, as well as the emotional heart, our mental heart, our spiritual heart, our romantic heart. There's so many different parts of who we are that are connected to our heart. There are a lot of different beliefs surrounding it that we're not going to go into today, but I wanted to share with you a little bit about my favorite oil to promote balance within the cardiovascular system, which is fueled by the heart, pumped by the heart, right? This is our most vital organ. We can't live without it. And as the heart healer, it's an integral part of all of the healing work that I do. and pretty much everything that I talk about, because that's my soul's purpose for being here, is to share the importance of being consciously connected to the heart. And these essential oils will offer that aspect of your relationship with you and how you can be more present in that experience. Good morning, Razy. Thank you so much for joining me. All right. And I see that there are comments here, but I'm not. Now I see them. Good morning, Graciela. Good morning. Jos, you came from Netherlands. Thank you for being here this morning. I know it's afternoon there, but so grateful that you're here. Sometimes technology gets a little weird, so I apologize for not acknowledging you. And thank you for the love, Razy. So we're talking a little bit about the holistic aspects of heart health and awakening our connection to the heart. So we're going to start with the physical. My favorite oil is Aroma Life. You know, I forgot to bring them with me, but you can look at them on the youngliving.com website. Just click on products, type in Aroma Life, L-I-F-E, and you'll get to see a little bit more about it. What I love about this oil is how it promotes so much balance in the heart itself, in the heart center, in the whole cardiovascular system. It's amazing the benefits that we can receive by either applying it topically on the heart center, on the heart reflex points, which I'll show you where they are in a moment, or by inhaling it directly from the bottle, putting a drop on our hands, inhaling it this way, or putting it on a diffuser. So if you have any issues surrounding the heart, we have to watch our language so that we are FDA compliant, and we don't talk about dis-ease or symptoms. But if your goal is to promote as much balance within your cardiovascular system and promoting as much heart health as you can, this is a wonderful blend. The oils that it contains, I want to share with you, are helichrysum, ylang-ylang, marjoram, and cypress. And you'll find in most blends that have the single oil of ylang-ylang that it creates an amazing balance between so many of the different aspects of who we are. So when you're looking to create balance and you're mixing your own oils, ylang-ylang is a great oil to add to the mix. And so not only does this blend support the cardiovascular system, of which, remember, the heart is the center, it also supports our lymphatic and the full circulatory system. You know that from the physical perspective, the heart is the beating central core for that system. It literally helps to support our blood pressure, our pulse, and it flows. It creates that flow of blood throughout the cardiovascular system. And so that includes both the arterial system as well as the venous system. The arterial system is that oxygenated blood that's being sent from the heart after it's been to the lungs throughout the body to feed our cells with not only just oxygen, but all of the other nutrients that are being fed into the cardiovascular system from our gastrointestinal system, etc. It also includes all of the endocrine system, because all of the chemicals, the healthy chemicals in our body that it so beautifully produces, are transported throughout the body by the cardiovascular system. And all of our waste products of the blood are removed through that system. The blood takes it to our kidneys, it takes it to our liver. The kidneys release it through the urinary tract system. So it's a wonderful and most amazing yet incredibly complex system that is our body. It has multiple systems and they all interact with each other in many different ways. So the more that we can focus on creating balance in all of these systems, the healthier we feel, the more well-being we experience, right? Okay, so how do we apply Aroma Life? So you can apply it directly on the heart center. That's the energy center here in the middle of the chest. You can also apply it to the heart reflex points. I can show you one of them. So here is the left hand. Here is our left ring finger. Here's our lifeline. And so here, where this point is, you can stimulate it by, like acupressure, by pressing on it in a circular fashion, right? And that will stimulate that heart center. And you could apply a drop of the Aroma Life there as you are massaging it, so to speak, to stimulate it. And if you go to an acupuncture physician, they would be able to stimulate that center with a needle. It's the same idea. And that helps to stimulate the energy or chi within the acupuncture meridian system, which helps to support balance within our entire cardiovascular system. So it works really well. Or you can put a drop of the Aroma Life on your hand as an inhalation and just inhale in. And inhale again. And again. I love doing things in threes. There's a whole system of threes that's important. We're not going to get into that today. Okay. Or you can put it on your diffuser of choice. There are so many different kinds of diffusers. Young Living's, my favorite little one that's so portable is called a USB orb diffuser. It's great because it'll plug into a computer or any USB port or USB plug, so wherever you are around the world, you can find a USB plug that works for your electrical system. They're wonderful. It looks like a little egg. It takes tap water. There's a cotton wick in the center of it that draws the water with the oil into it, and a little aperture on the top with two settings, intermittent puffs of moisture with essential oil in it, or constant. And they last about 4 hours. It's an amazing value for such a small tool. You can put it in your car. I mean, I keep it, especially during this horrible time of cold and flu season. I've taken to carrying it with me and plugging it into the USB port in my car. And whenever I'm driving around, I keep Thieves essential oil in it to support my immune system. Because whenever you're outside, even if you're going to the grocery store, you know you're coming in contact with people that are sick. And the way that we don't get sick all the time is by supporting our immune system in ways that feel good to each of us. So I like Thieves oil to do it that way. And I also put it on the diffuser that I keep in my healing space in my home and in my bedroom. So there's lots of different ways to doing it, okay? All right, so let's see what else I wanted to share with you about that. There is also a point, it's a little hard to show here, on the arm. It's the left arm. You can Google where this is. If you apply the Aroma Life to that acupressure point, it's all along this heart meridian in the arm. You can stimulate it the same way as we did here. Place just a drop. You can actually do a drop, one drop. Less is always more. Remember that. You don't need to use a lot of oil to get a good benefit. You can take one drop, put it in your hand, rub it in there, and then there's also a reflex point on the bottom of the left foot. Let me see if you can see this. Hopefully you can see that, and there's not too much of a light reflection. Here is the heart reflex point. It's like right at that ball of the foot, and this area around it is the lung. Just kind of reasonable that it would be that way because the heart and lung are so integrally connected. So the fact that they're located adjacent to each other on the foot makes perfect sense to me. So what you would do is you could put a drop here. You can put a carrier oil with it if you want to so that you can spread it, right? A drop on the hand, a drop here, right around the elbow area, a little bit above the elbow area. And this is all on the left side. And isn't that perfect because the heart organ is on the left side? So that makes sense, right? Okay, and so then you can just stimulate by gentle massage or acupressure these 3 points in the bottom of the foot. You can also apply it to the heart center, And again, we said we can put it on the diffuser if you want to. And again, less is more. If you're putting it in the diffuser, start with 1 or 2 drops. It's a very dear oil blend. See how it feels to you. And the best way to do that is to walk out of the room after you've set it up and you have it going. Walk out of the room that you're putting it in. Wait a few minutes, walk back in, see if you can smell it and if it's strong enough for you. Don't waste it by putting too much in there because more is not better, especially with any essential oil. So I would invite you to just do it by your own smeller, your own nose, and see what sniffer and see what it feels good to you. All right. Okay. Oh, you can also put it on your vertebra, the different vertebrae in the back, either through C4, which is the cervical spine number 4. We have 7 cervical vertebra in the back, and it's from C4 to T5. T is the thoracic vertebra. So it's a pretty big span. It's 5 thoracic vertebra. It's kind of like from here to here. My hand is a little bit below where you can see it. And isn't that perfect that that's exactly where the heart is, right? So that's where all of the nerve endings are that feed the heart, that come off the spine. So these are several different areas. So to reiterate, you can put it on the heart center. You can put it in the diffuser. You can inhale it by putting a drop in your hand. You can apply it to reflex points on your left hand, here, left arm, the back, the bottom of the left foot, at the ball of the foot where the heart reflex point is. Okay? All right. What else do I want to share with you about that? I think that's it for physical health and well-being in terms of the heart. So let's talk a little bit about the emotions. My favorite blend is joy. Isn't that what the heart is all about, right? So joy has so many different oils in it, I have to refer to it. So it's a blend of, and it has in it bergamot, ylang-ylang, geranium, lemon, coriander, tangerine, jasmine, Roman chamomile, palmarosa, and rose. Ooh, yummy rose. And rose is actually my first choice, but it is so dear, meaning expensive, that I like to give people an option of a more affordable oil. And the reason why it's so expensive is because it takes so much plant material in order for you to get just a small amount of oil from the rose petals. It takes so many pounds of oils. So it's something to keep in mind, right? Okay. All right. Joy. To me, joy is an inside job, right? So awakening your heart to joy, if you're having challenges with your emotions and joy is elusive to you, it's hard for you to connect with it, using the essential oil blend joy on your heart center, and you can do it on the heart reflex points also, as we've already reviewed. It just has the most amazing aroma. And it's enlightening. It's a happy oil, right? It's also been used for generations as far as a romance oil, the jasmine in it. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. Also, because emotions they can shut our heart center down, anything that keeps that heart open, especially the emotions of grief and sadness and depression, joy helps to move through those emotions. It helps to open the heart, create flow, access joy, which creates more balance in the emotional state. Again, you can apply it topically, inhale it, or diffuse it. Joy was actually the oil blend that I used to stop using synthetic perfume. 1 drop on the wrist, rub my wrist together, put it on my neck, a little bit on the décolleté area, a little on the heart, just a drop, mind you. And it lasts a long time. The fragrance is long lasting, which is very nice. Okay. What else do I want to share with you? All righty. So jasmine, I want to share with you a little bit about jasmine, which is in joy, but as a single oil, if you're looking for an essential oil to enhance your romance, because this is also a part of the heart. It's about our loving relationship with ourselves and with others and with our partners, if we indeed have them. This one has been used for centuries, treasured by women as a beautiful, seductive fragrance. So a wonderful gift to give your loved one or your romantic partner or your bashert, as we say, your beloved. All right. It's nicknamed the Queen of the Night or Moonlight of the Grove. And this is a good example, like rose oil. This one takes 1,000 pounds of jasmine to create 1 pound of oil or 3.6 million fresh, unpacked blossoms. Does that give you an idea of why some of our oils are so expensive? Because it just takes so much to create them. And there's so much effort put into this. This is not a true essential oil. It's referred to as an essence. And it's taken from the flowers at night when the fragrance is the strongest. If it's done any other time, it's not the same. The therapeutic benefit is not there. It's just not the same. All right. Again, Vitaflex points here, 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 the spine, left foot, heart point, etc. Inhale it or put it on the diffuser. All right, your wonderful thing is a prelude to having a romantic evening. Sound like a great idea? All right, and my other favorites are frankincense and sacred frankincense, because when we talk about the holistic model and our connection to our heart, many of us think of our heart as that doorway to love, and that the love is not only just our human love, but our love that is connected to our spiritual beliefs, to our source. Some refer to it as God, Allah, the Christ presence. There's so many different words that we use. There is no one way to get there. So whatever is personal to you and is your word, your spiritual essence as you believe it to be, it's a wonderful, these are two oils that are wonderful to connect with that part of who you are, or to enhance that connection. So I always forget which frankincense is from which country, so I wrote it down this morning. So frankincense is from Yemen, and sacred frankincense is from Oman. And what's wonderful about these oils is they're also not true oils. They're actually distilled from the resin behind the bark of the tree. And frankincense is a tree and grows only in that part of the world. It is considered a precious holy oil from ancient times and continues to be seen as such and believed as such in our present time. You can apply it topically anywhere you want. It's amazing. It promotes skin health. It opens up our hearts. When it's applied to the third eye or the crown energy centers, it opens up this connection to our spiritual presence. Again, whatever that means to you. You can diffuse it if you want to. And again, remember, less is more. So we've talked a little bit about what essential oils are. We've talked and where they come from. We've talked a little bit about their history, a little bit about the holistic model, and we've talked about some of the oils that I love, Aroma Life, which awakens the cardiovascular system and heart center, excuse me, on the physical and the energetic levels. We've talked a little bit about joy and jasmine for the emotional balance, and frankincense and sacred frankincense for our spiritual balance. So, does anybody have any questions? Trying to see if this will actually, having a little bit of a challenge here. I see that there are 5 comments and I only see 3, so I'm not sure that this is working. If you have any questions, type it in for me and let's see if it will open up. Razy, if you're still on, I know you're not feeling well, but if you could type something just so that I can see if it's working, I would really appreciate it. All right. Well, I'm going to be able to look at it after our broadcast is completed. I hope that you found this information to be of value, and I'm going to wish you all an absolutely exquisite rest of your day. We will be back here again broadcasting live on Facebook from the Sharing the Love with Young Living Essential Oils in 2 weeks, and we will be broadcasting at 8 o'clock at night, either 7 or 8. So keep looking for when we do. You know, we will always post a reminder. All right. And if you have any questions at all, please post them in this thread, or during the next 2 weeks, pop into the group. Let us know what you're using, how you're using it, and how it feels to you. I hope that you've enjoyed this time together. I know I have. I'm going to wish you a glorious rest of your day and enjoy your essential oils. Blessings of love and gratitude. Bye-bye.